Hi, everybody. Welcome to the UltimateBS podcast, the podcast where I interview every competitor and headliner that's been on my show, the Ultimate Bringer Show. Today, I have Salvador de Santos. Hey, Salvador, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. You're my fifth episode, I think.
Okay.
So I'm still kind of learning. I'm still fresh
Not
on
number
this.
one, but I'll take fifth, I guess.
I had to practice before I got to you, man.
Okay. I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get.
How you been doing, man?
Doing good, man.
You were one of the first competitors in my first show.
It was the first show, yeah.
How did you like it?
It was fun. You know, it was a good crowd. It was good people. It was definitely a good sized crowd. I had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, man.
It was actually the audience was pretty good.
Yeah,
for that particular.
I was surprised by the amount of turnout that there was for the first show. There was I don't know. I think I counted 40 people in that small little room.
Well, the girl who got first, she brought a bunch of people.
Who went first?
No.
Oh yeah, the winner, Hannah Canetti.
Yeah, Hannah. Yeah, Hannah won, but she brought a bunch of people. Like most of the crowd was, that was really good. I think she brought a bunch. I forgot what other comedian brought. I mean, I only brought 3 people.
It's still great though.
You know.
Yeah, I don't tell anybody how many votes they got, but you got a pretty good amount that day. Like you were, I thought you were gonna win, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I was surprised by the turnout, and it's been great. I was like,
yeah, man. It was a great show, and Hannah was great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Real quick before I forget, because I always forget to say that my name is James, everybody, and
that might be a little bit important.
Yeah, just might be a little bit, but this is more to highlight every competitor. So it's not really about me; it's about you. I want to get to know you a little more.
Sure.
Where can people find you? So your handle.
My handle in Instagram is @SalDeSantos. I have a YouTube channel called Los Pinche Funny Boys. I have my web series there, and then I have some of my stand-up there. So that's pretty much if you want to see some of my projects. It's not a lot right now. I feel like I took most of the stuff out of it, down from there.
Okay.
To just kind of be focus on fun things that I want to make,
Yeah, you also said you had a podcast as well, right?
I do. I don't know I don't know when I'm releasing it and what exactly I'm doing with it. It's called Server Nightmares, but I don't know yet if I'm releasing it soon or what's going on with that.
Well, I like the premise of what it is. I mean, just the title alone, I'm like, oh man, I want to hear what servers go through.
It's just I bring people that are comedians, actors, musicians, bring into the podcast and we talk about kind of all the crazy shit that we deal with.
Yeah, are you a server?
Yeah, so
Where'd you work?
I work at a bubblegum shrimp company.
Oh, nice. Like in the one in City Walk?
I work in Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Santa Monica Pier. So my career is going on point, baby.
It's all about that hustle, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool, man. How long you been doing comedy?
That's a weird thing. Okay.
Yeah,
so
everybody's got a...
it doesn't matter. I mean, I've been doing it, technically I started in 2011.
Okay.
And then I didn't really start doing, fully doing it till 2014. So I say I'm 4.5 years in.
Okay.
So I'm still pretty green. I've been able to perform in a lot of great places I've been in LA for almost 2 years now.
Okay, so where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Mexico City. I was born and raised in Mexico City.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
man.
So this accent is legit. That's authentic.
Yeah. I was born and raised there, which is weird. Well, it's funny because you perform in front of a lot of Chicanos, first, second, third generation Hispanics, and it's so because a lot of the comedy that I do, a lot of the Mexican jokes that I do, are based in Mexico. If you go to and so I have in a way to kind of change it to fit Latino or Chicano culture because there is a difference. If you go to if you hang out with a lot of Latinos or Chicanos, first, second, third generation in the States, it's a completely different culture than the one from Mexico. So in Mexico, not completely, but there's a lot of different things. So a lot of the jokes have to shape to kind of fit both cultures.
Yeah, so it's relatable. Yeah.
Right. So I'm from there, from Mexico. And then I moved to Texas when I was 11. Okay. I lived in San Antonio for 8 years, which when I shoot my first special, I want to shoot it in San Antonio.
Nice, yeah, that's how you do it.
That's the place that I really want to do, the first one at the Majestic Theater. So So I lived in San Antonio for 8 years, and then I moved to New Mexico for 4 years while I was going to college, and then I lived in Dallas for about 3.5 years, and now I'm here.
Now you're here running for 2
Yeah,
years.
man.
Wow, man, dude, I think you're funny. So,
Thank
like, I
you.
really enjoyed your material. I was like, man,
Thank
this
you.
guy. I was hopeful, like, and my girlfriend, she was actually thinking that you were gonna win too. She was like, oh man, you have to bring him back. You have to bring him back. I was like, oh, if he wants to, he'll come back.
He said that today to every person. Like, I'm gonna be rewatching all the episodes, and
Watch
I'm gonna
all
be
the
like,
episodes.
that motherfucker,
I
made me
put
feel special for a little bit. That fucking asshole just fucking lied to my face in my house.
Thank you for having me. This is a really nice place.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah. It's nice.
It's very
Like,
comfortable.
yeah.
But no, man. Honestly though, like I listened to your material, and you got me thinking that like I kind of miss, you know, like in the '90s, Latino comedy was like it was like at an all-time high with like, you know, George Lopez and Andy Garcia. It was just like, man, I kind of wish that was we could bring it back. You know what I mean?
I think now more than ever, I think it can come back. I think there's a lot of Latino. It's weird because right now, this like kids, you know, that were born in 2000, so they're 19 years old now.
Uh-huh.
When they think of Latino comics, I think they think of Fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's his name? He won Last Comic Standing. What's his face?
Right.
Felipe Esparza.
Uh-huh.
You know, maybe someone like that. So here's the thing. I think I relate, of course, because I'm from Mexico. But I think like there's still a big wave of Latino comedians that should be coming out pretty soon. I feel like there's gonna be a wave of it. I became friends. We're friends is a loose word. I mean, acquaintances with a guy named Momo Rodriguez.
Okay.
He writes for George Lopez, and everywhere he goes, you know, he's his writer, whatever. He's trying to branch out and create his own show and whatnot. And you know, he makes a good point with now making it as a comedian, where it's like you have to also focus on breaking to like a TV show or a movie.
Okay.
Or something. You also gotta focus on that, because once you become a series regular anywhere, your career will take off. That's as a stand-up. Because all you have to say is, oh, you've seen him in this, you've seen him in that, you know? And the second you have a big name where people can recognize you, you can start selling out shows. You know? So, I completely went in a completely different route. To your question, you asked me about, you know, you're talking about Latino.
No, it's like, I mean, like I said, there's no real format here. It's like, and I like deviating from like the question, but no, yeah, like what I was saying was like I kind of wish that there was still a Latino comedy scene. You know what I mean? And if there is, I haven't found it. Have you come across like an open mic where it's just Latino night?
I did a show at Second City, which was a Latino show,
Second City,
so all of the comedians that performed were Latino, and they asked me if I wanted to perform in Spanish, and I said no. Okay. Well, because here's the thing, two things.
It's different.
Well, yes, and I could easily do a set in Spanish. That's not the issue, but I also think like if I'm gonna perform in Spanish, I want it to be to a Spanish-speaking crowd.
Right.
And I knew that at Second City that wasn't going to happen. Now it's a lot more difficult here because the comedians that have sets in Spanish or that are, you know, and they want to perform in Spanish here, they have to be already known in Mexico. Okay. Because there's not an open mic here in Spanish. There's not a lot of opportunity to actually perform in Spanish where there's not even a lot of Spanish shows, period.
Yeah, period. Yeah.
Right? Now as far as Latinos in there are Latino-based shows. The Laugh Factory, I think, has Latino night. I think, like on Mondays. Or they used to have it. I don't know if they still have it.
Open for like amateurs, or
amateurs.
There's mostly people who are like Felipe Esparza.
Right. So I'm actually creating a show.
Cool.
On August. That's our plan on Skip Down Playhouse. I was telling you about. We're calling it Rice and Beans. It's my friend Patrick Jara, my friend Andy Van, and myself. We're creating the shows for Latinos and or Asians. Okay. Because he's Vietnamese. Okay. And so we're creating a show for that. Now, as far as like open mics specific for Hispanics, I don't think there should be. I don't think there should be an open mic just for Hispanics or for any race. I think everybody should go out and perform at just any ever regular mic. I think because it's a workout. You go to an open mic to work out. So I don't think necessarily there should be only Hispanic, open mic or a black open mic or an Asian open mic. I don't think an open mic should be available for everybody.
Right.
I think specific shows are fun to have, like Latino night, or Asian night or whatever. I think those are fun shows to be able to show your culture and everything. Open mics though, I don't think there should really be.
The workout rooms. Right?
I personally don't think. I think you should go, to just an open mic, being like, all right, this is the shit that I wrote. We can curse, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Fuck shit.
Well, fuck shit, yeah. No. I think an open mic is just, okay, I have a couple of jokes, blah, blah, and I want to work them out. It's just a workout. You have to be able to go up there and everything. I have my own thoughts about open mics.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, let me establish something. I'm not an established comedian.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm 27 years old. I don't fucking,
Oh, man,
whatever I say is just a fucking ignorant opinion that I have about things. I don't want it to be like, this guy's talking a lot of shit about the industry.
Not at all, man.
So it's just my stupid opinion.
What are your favorite spots to go to? Where do you like to go work out?
I like Haha.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take that back. I like Haha because it's a very tough crowd. And so for me, is if I can make people laugh there.
I've never been to the Haha one. I've heard thifferent things about the Haha.
It's a rough crowd.
Okay, so there's real audience members there.
No.
Okay.
It's all comedians.
Okay, yeah.
And in a dark room in the main room.
Okay.
At 6. So they have one at 6 and one at 8. I don't like the one doing at 8. It's outside. It's always weird. But the one at 6, it's all the comedians are in the room, just waiting to go up.
Yeah.
And people are going up there.
Is it a bucket system or?
Yeah, it's a lottery. And so with that, you gotta have a tough room, and a lot of people get, they try to avoid tough rooms, and I don't. I like going to tough rooms. For me, it's like if you find a tough room, keep going to that room, because if you can make them laugh, then you're working on something.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
If you keep going to easy rooms or safe rooms or whatever, then you're not gonna get better as a comedian. You're not gonna find a way. There's a beauty about bombing. Bombing is not necessarily a bad thing. I think, especially in open mics, fucking bomb. Go out there and try shit that you usually wouldn't. Let's bomb. I think to me that's how you become a better comedian. And so Haha is one of them. Flappers is the one that I really like as well. It's
the 11 o'clock or the Tuesdays?
No, there's a bunch of them.
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday it's at 8:30. Wednesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 and 11. So Friday and Saturday it's at 11:30. And then Sundays at 9:30. I don't I usually won't go to the Friday one. It's 11:30 and it's a multiple ticket night. And if you don't have a bunch of tickets, then you're gonna be there for a long time and not really go up.
Yeah.
And I usually try to take at least a couple of days off of comedy a week sometimes.
Okay.
To people that are hustling and they're doing 15, 20, 35 mics a week, and that's good for them. I work. So as soon as I get out of work, I have to be like, all right, cool. I have time to go to one mic, or I have time to go to 2 mics. Because I work all the way in Santa Monica, and I don't get out of my job till 5:30 or 6.
Yeah, that's
right. And
that
so
commute just.
You
You must do all your writing and driving.
Yeah. So I have to be very smart with which mic I want to go to. Well, let's do this. Also depends what I'm working on. Right now, I'm working on a 5-minute set that I wrote 2 weeks ago. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I have 5 minutes, right? So some days, on a Tuesday, I'll be like, all right, cool. So if I get out early, if I'm not working, I'll be like, I'll go to Haha at 6, and then after that, I'll book it to Flappers and do the 8:30 mic. So now I can work the 5 minutes completely, and then whatever I find I might have not worked in those 5 minutes, I can work at a Flappers for those 3 minutes at the beginning. So Bert's back room is fun. It's a very small. They have 2 rooms, but they're technically smallish.
Yeah.
And so it's very. You're performing against a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
Fourth wall is alright. I've only done it a couple of times. Yeah. So fourth wall is fine. I'll do fourth wall once in a while. But honestly, the mics that I really focus, that really go to is the Haha, Flappers, and sometimes Bert's back room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the benefit of those rooms is that sometimes there's actual crowd members, especially at the Flappers. People get out of one show and they just sit down at the bar for you get actual audience members, which is great. But the things I don't like about lottery mics is the wait time. You're there for 2-3 hours to go up, and sometimes you'll go up last, and then it's like there's nobody there, there's no audience, and I always felt like that was like a waste of time, or at least a very inefficient way to do it.
So but that's part of it. You know what I mean? I don't think you should go with the mentality of like fuck, there's because. Most of the time I get at a decent time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't get up. There's been a couple where I would have to get up 2 days in a row, and it's frustrating. But but the next time I go in thinking, all right, cool. Like this is gonna be Mike, whatever. It doesn't matter if I end up last. Let's just fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, if you do end up last, and there's still like 3 to 4 people, fucking still do your shit if you with a full crowd. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're not.
No.
I'm saying I see a lot of comedians go out last and do a couple of jokes and see nobody's laughing, whatever, and they just defeat it. And I'm like, no, do your whole set, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're there, you paid for you paid for your stuff, so just work it out. Even if you bomb, really work it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's just LA. But here's the beauty. Sure, you have like 15 mics a day every single day in LA, right? So.
I think more,
dude. In Dallas, you have maybe 10 mics a week.
Wow.
And most places in the States, that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
there's a lot of opportunity here.
Right.
And even more in New York, I've heard. Like, just
yeah, New York it's also huge. And so, to just be thankful to be like, even if I don't get up in one mic, I can go literally to another mic and probably get up there. And most mics or a lot of mics will let you keep your ticket at the end so you can redo it again. Like if you don't get up at Flappers, they'll give you your ticket back.
Okay.
So you'll be able to use it either for the Friday night mic where you can put a bunch of tickets in, or you can just reuse it whenever you want. So you don't have to pay next time.
Yeah. I didn't know they did that. That actually sounds like a.
Yeah, they'll give you your ticket back so you can just reuse it whenever you can. Or Friday nights, multiple ticket nights. So you're able to, if you didn't go up 3. In 3 weeks you didn't go up 3 times and you have 3 tickets, you can put them all in one, on Friday and have the opportunity to go up in the Yugo room.
Yeah, all right, man. Well, whatever you're doing, it seems to be working because I really liked your set that one time. I wish I'm excited to see you perform again at this next show, which is going to be for everybody watching. If I haven't posted it yet, it's on July 26th at 11 o'clock at Fourth Wall in North Hollywood. Yeah. But man, what has been the best set you've ever had? The one that like really made you like love this? Was it your first? Yeah, like was it the first time you ever did it, or was it?
It's so I started doing theater when I was 8 years old.
Oh, okay, cool.
In Mexico.
Okay.
Right, for a semi-professional company, and then when I moved here, I had to relearn the language. Well, not relearn, I never learned it, but I knew enough to get myself through a conversation. But I really had to learn the language, be able to be understood, be able to because I had a thick accent until I was like 17, 18, 19, right? And so, learning the language properly, and then, and then I started doing theater again in middle school and then high school, and then I majored in acting, which, my decisions in life, I'm not.
Dude, your decisions in life, I have kids, I have one more unit to graduate from college, and I don't think I'm going to go back, dude. Talk about decisions.
Man, but kids, at least you get to fucking watch them grow up, and they're beautiful. I got a BFA in acting. What am I gonna do with that? Nothing. Like, even for acting jobs, they're like, oh, fuck, if you went to school, can you act? Well, yeah, that's all they care about.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I did a bunch of theater, and but every, and I have a huge theater resume, and every single show that I've done has been a comedy for them. I've been to either, it's either been a comedy or I've been the comedic relief of that. So I started thinking that. And I always liked stand-up, but I didn't know if I really wanted to, if I could really do it. In 2011, I was a sophomore in college, and I was like, in the summer, and I was like, you know what, let's try it out. And I did it for the first time, and I was like, I could probably do something with it.
How'd it go? How'd it go? Was it very receptive?
It was an open mic. I mean, it was the first time. Yeah, it went. To me, it went well, but if I watched it now, I would have been like, oh, no, this was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the first time. I was fucking, 20, dude. I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 35. Not gonna know. I'm 27 now. And so I was 20 when I first, and then I went back to college, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be doing stand-up, blah, blah. I could tell myself that I'm friends, And then I finally graduated, and then I started doing stand-up again when I graduated college. and it was just a bunch of open mics. I wasn't focused on getting shows. I was just focused on going to mics and getting better and getting better and getting better. And I didn't do a show for the first 3 years. Because I was just doing mics and I didn't know how or anything. But I just kept going to mics and figuring it out. And then I actually got my first gig about 3 to 4 months before moving over here.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I did well.
Did you already know that you were going to come to LA? Or did,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I had planned it, and so I did the gig, and it went well. It wasn't amazing, but it went well.
Okay.
And then I moved here, and I was doing open mics almost every single day, trying to be like, because I had done it for 3 years, so I knew the open mic business. I was fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. Now I was like, when I moved here, I was like, now it's my turn to start finding shows here.
Yeah.
And so I started doing a bunch of shows after meeting people and getting the community going. It was really funny because when I first moved here, I did stand up, and then for like 2 months I didn't do any stand up because I was going through like small depression, right? And then, but part of me, like, I was like, oh, I should go do a mic. I'm like, no, you're gonna suck, blah blah, all this crazy shit in his head. And then I went, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go and throw myself in it one more time. I'm gonna go full on one more time, and if I still feel like I don't, if I still feel like this, then I'll stop doing it. And then I did it, and I fell in love with it.
Oh, nice.
And I did. I mean, I fell so in love with it. And then I did. It's been great. And so it's really funny because I did a competition, the Uncle Clyde's competition.
Oh, the Flappers one?
Yeah, and so I got third there.
Oh, nice.
And then I did yours, and I got second there, and I'm like, I just gotta get a first place. That's all.
Yeah.
But because a lot of the times, people bring a lot of people, and a lot of people get mad at that. They're like, oh, but she brought the house, and I'm like, yeah, well, you didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't get mad at that.
No, right.
Like, well, he wasn't funny, right? And I'm like, okay, but did you bring people?
Right.
Well, no. There you go.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people get really mad about bringer shows. They're like, but he's a bringer. And
they're all bringer shows.
I mean, yeah, but they're like, well, if you don't bring 5 people, then they don't let you perform. And I'm like, okay, well, then bring 5 people.
Yeah.
Like, as a performer, I think you have to learn how to bring audience.
I call it what do you call it? I call it fan gathering. It's just like you're trying to like in New York, that's what they do. Like they're out there, they're like hustling, like what do you call it? Like they're barking, right? Is what the terminology. They're giving out flyers, and that's part of it. Like you're trying to gather an audience, people to get recognized, and I think that's part of the culture of stand-up comedy. Yeah. I mean, at one point or another, you're gonna have to find some fans,
Yeah, and exactly. I think it's putting yourself out there, man. Again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm fucking running this business, because by no means am I doing this. But I think first and foremost, I mean, now that I've been doing this for almost 5 years, I'm now beginning to really find my voice.
Okay, right. That's awesome.
And so when I'm finding my voice, and then I'm lucky enough that I'm not getting that nervous to perform anymore, because I've done this before. I've done this material, or even if it's newish and I've worked it, I'm like, you know what, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying, so it's just going up on stage and just doing it.
Doing it, yeah.
Right. And then if it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. If you have a bad show, doesn't mean you're a bad comedian. If you have a good show, doesn't mean you're a good comedian.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because you've been putting in the work. I think that's why you feel that way. You know the amount of hustle you put in, the amount of effort you put into writing your jokes, and that's why you have the confidence. It's because you know that you've done. Whether it goes good or not, you did your best, and that's great.
Right. I think so.
Yeah. When I created my show, it's called the Ultimate Bringer Show. Is because I thought every show is a bringer show. You want people there, right? And I formulated the way that my show goes, the audience gets to vote for the funniest, and the audience can vote for multiple comics. So even if one person did bring 10, maybe 5 of those people.
That's why I got second.
Yeah.
Because I only brought 3 people.
Yeah.
Like, it was people bored me. So that's how I got second. Because people were.
What is the format of Bert's? Or was it Bert's?
I think it's the same thing.
Is it?
I don't think it's via phone, but I think on the sheet you have a little piece of paper and you get to write 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
for Uncle Clyde, for Flappers.
Yeah. I thought it was there were judges. The judges were the ones that chose.
That's I think for for the final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the regular rounds, the audience votes.
Okay. How do you like that with having judges? I
like it.
Yeah.
Because to me, because now they're I think judges base it off talent.
Okay.
Because the guy, I don't remember his name, but the guy who won that round, I'm not trying to be throwing shade or anything, I didn't think it was that funny.
Okay.
I don't think his structure was that good or whatever. I don't think he actually did. I mean, his jokes weren't that great, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong. Some other people may think it's great. He still won. Good for him. But for my opinion, it wasn't a good set. But he brought his whole family. Right? And so he got first. A comedian who I thought should have gotten first got second. And then I got third. Right? So that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know? I like the judge system because now you have people that would say, "Oh, he was funny," so you know, he was funny. He you know, so that they base it most on structure, you know, the way they presence on stage and shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
No, I haven't done stand up enough to.
How long have you been doing it?
Well, I've been telling people that like if I had to put all the days back to back, I've been doing it for 6 months. But I've been saying that for 6 months now. So I think now it's been like a year and a half, and not as much as I wish I could be doing it.
Right.
You know, I wish being a single dad of twin girls, you know, like my time is very limited. And so that's why the whole mentality of like, oh, I'm gonna go to an open mic, I'm gonna spend 2 hours there and not go up. You know, that's wasting my time. I had to look for the mics, like the fourth wall. I like the fourth wall because I can sign up for 3 mics. I got like 9 different people every time, and really pound out my material and learn how to say it right.
Have you done Bird's Back Room? It's the same concept.
Yeah, it's just a little further away.
Gotcha.
You know, fourth wall's really close. I live in Solmar, so it's just.
There's another mic in Schoonerville.
Oh yeah, so up in Northridge.
So yeah, they give you I think 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yeah, and
I've done that one.
You'll go up. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's a first come first serve. Those
yeah,
are pretty
yeah,
cool. You come show up, you sign up.
And the guys who run it, I forgot their names. They're pretty great. They're roommates. They're awesome people.
Yeah, I've met them. They're awesome. I like that. You know, playing pool, have a beer before then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, no, like, you know, the fourth wall, pretty quick. But I heard, you know, it's a funny thing. Like when I was going to the fourth wall before the whole slotted system came up, right? And I liked the community. It was a pretty cool place to hang out with some people, you know.
Yeah.
I would bring beer sometimes, hang out with the mics, and then like the slotted system happened, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a great idea. And I kind of wanted to find my own room to start like the same thing, and then that's when Birch did it, and then there was this whole thing going on, and I was like, all right, well, I haven't gone to Birch, but you know, maybe one of these days. I have nothing against them.
Yeah, it's a good mic.
Yeah, it's in LA, right?
Yeah, I think by Hollywood.
In Hollywood, yeah.
Which is it's good. Honestly, man, like to me, it doesn't matter where you're going, as long as you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, for me, whenever I find myself not wanting to go to mics, it's because I haven't written something new. So I have to be like, all right, cool, then let's write something new. Because the second I begin to write something new, then I get excited, and I'm like, oh, let's hit this mic, let's hit this mic, let's hit this mic. Because, you know, it's weird to me whenever I see people at mics doing the same jokes they've been doing for 3 months. I'm like, okay, well, you know it works, right? Or if you feel like it still doesn't work, then cut it. Because if you've been working for 3 months and this shit's not working, then let it go.
You know, let's talk about that. How long do you work on a joke before you discard it or try something new?
Depends.
Okay.
If I have a funny idea, I can't go up. Like, I can't write up there. Right? So I have to, like, I also can't, I'm not the comedian that writes jokes on Netflix either. So I have a concept, and I'll write the concept on my phone, you know? Like, right now I'm doing a server bit that I'm working on, right? So I'll write bubblegum server bits, right? People being stupid, whatever. And so I like a crazy person, I'll begin to just say that bit on my car while I'm driving or while I'm here, and I'll work it, because I'm the kind of person, I'm a storyteller, but I gotta find like, all right, cool. So this is a funny concept, but you gotta keep it tight, you gotta keep it sharp, and you're gonna be like, in this concept, you gotta find, all right, blah blah blah. joke, blah, 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 joke, blah, 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 joke, blah, 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 big joke, like punchline, so blah, blah, punchline, blah, blah, punchline, blah, blah, punchline, blah, 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 punchline at the end. And so for me, that's what I want. I don't just want to rant. So what I do, I'll work, blah, 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 and then, all right, I think this, I kind of have an idea here, and then I'll take it to a mic and do that. And I'll be like, all right, cool, this should work. And then if I see that it's getting laughs, and I'm like, all right, cool, so this is, and that's why I record my sets, and I think it's very important to record your audio. I'll be like, all right, cool, I can actually cut that out.
Yeah.
Or this particular bit is just, not needed. Or, this wasn't funny, so see, instead of this, if we can put this over here and bring this back, and start like moving the joke around to be like, okay, this actually would be work better if we put it at the end, or like this bit it's a little too different, it doesn't, it's too out there. So let's see if so I start putting it together as I'm going to mics until finally I'm like, all right, I think this will work.
Okay.
And then I'll find certain shows that I get booked on that I'd be like, I can work. Like I'm doing Flappers on the 23rd.
Okay, cool.
And so I get 5 minutes, and so I'm gonna try to do these 5 minutes for an actual audience, because then you get real people.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are gonna tell you if it works or not. For comedians, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, of course.
They're just texting or writing on the way to go up, and there's a comedian that will laugh at your shit and it feels great. But it's until I get to play it in a room and see how it works.
It doesn't count unless the audience laughs. Wow, man, it's fascinating to see you go through your whole process, because you kind of remind me like that movie A Beautiful Mind, and you're just like you can see it,
Except I'm fucking stupid. Like no, it's like it's you gotta find what works for you, man. Like some people write it down in the book and have this whole book full of jokes, and they're proud whenever they finish a book, and they're like, oh, this is my jokes, my god, and I'm like, that's great, I can't do that. Like literally on my phone it just says dick joke, or the anal. My joke's a little better than this, but you know what I mean? Like I look like my notes look like a serial killer. A hair bit, whatever, and that's it. And then I'm able to remember exactly what bit it is. If it's a newer bit, I'm able to be like, all right, I'll write some bullet points to remember, to kind of like remember what shape joke and everything. And now that I have 30 minutes, like I did my first 20-minute show about 2 weeks ago, and so I had to create a list. And I feel like, cool, I think I can so because there's a big difference between doing a 5 to 10 minute set and doing a 20-minute set. Because once you begin to do 20 or more, now you begin to have. Now it's you gotta start thinking like it's an album.
Yeah.
Your first 5 minutes, or you're doing all Mexican material. Then your next, 15 minutes, it can either be, your I don't know, your bit about your grandma or whatever, right? And then you can have like another 5 minutes of being cheap. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
now you have to begin to structure, because 20 minutes is enough time to win an audience and lose an audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it becomes a challenge to like being able to keep the audience engaged and to really shape those 20 minutes. It's not all over the place.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. Yeah. Wow, man. Quite a journey. Did you like discover the way you wrote like fairly quickly in your career, or was it like?
No, it took me a while.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error.
It took me a while. Yeah. I didn't really begin to get really comfortable in my writing until like probably 6 months ago.
Okay.
Where I was like, cause now I can write something and I'd be like, this would probably work.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this would probably work.
Yeah.
And then like be able to go up on stage and be like, I just gotta clean it, make sure that it's fine, and I'm pretty sure it should work.
Yeah.
And I'm also bringing a lot of myself about who I am in my sets. And it would sound so easy, but a lot of comedians, including myself, I think, do this where like you look up to Louis C.K. or you look up to Forthy, or you look up to Mark Birbiglia, or you look up to Bill Burr or whatever. And so for the first year or two of your life, you're mocking them. You're mocking them. You're imitating a lot of their mannerisms, or like you mock the way that they tell things because you like them and you want to be like them and you want to sound like them and you want to be funny like them. So you begin to like, oh, I'm just gonna mock them or mimic them, and then I'll be funny.
Yeah.
But I think after a while, because I kind of did that a little bit with Louis C.K.
Okay.
Where like for the first 2 years, I was like, oh, I like how he tells stories, and then it began to be like, well, I gotta do it like myself, and now my sets is who I am.
Yeah.
you know, now it's like it's me being awkward and weird and being like, it's weird that I have these thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
And so because I'm 27, what the fuck do I know? I know nothing.
Right.
I'm a fucking child compared to, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people. So I just go up there and be like, this is the stupid shit that I know. I don't. This is what I got. This is what I've seen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to be smart about it. I'm just kind of like, isn't this weird? Isn't this weird that Mexicans do this? Isn't that weird that this stupid person did something weird? And then, you know, and then hopefully people laugh.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Oh man, it's awesome. Like I'm still trying to figure out how to write myself. I've noticed that like in my own trying to figure it out, I don't give enough. I feel like I don't give enough time to like a certain bit. You know what I mean? It's like I have like, for example, I'll hit up different mics throughout the week, right? And I'll probably for 1 week I'll try the same jokes, and then the next week I'll have new material, and there's like a whole bunch of backlogged jokes that I should like go back to, revisit, and really work on, grind them out until they're perfect. But I don't do it. My brain just keeps pumping shit out that I want to like learn how to make something funny.
Well, I think what I would recommend, whatever it means to you, I think you should find bits that you really like. Like I feel like you should begin to work on things that you think are funny. That you're like, oh, this is a funny concept. Yeah. Right. There's been a few times where I thought something is really funny and a really funny bit, but I can't make it work, and I can't make it work, and after a while, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw that away, and maybe later on I can bring it back and it will work. I have a new bit about drunk ladies trying to guess where I'm from, and I used to do this back in the day when I first started, and it was alright, but it didn't hit very well and then I remember that I had that bit, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I can make it work. And so I figured it out and I moved it around, and now we can make it work. Nice. You know, so now I have that bit and I love that bit, and it's a funny bit, and it's, you know, and so it works really well now with the structure of my hour that I'm trying to build. You know, so I think find something that you think is funny. Do it for you.
Right, of course. The weird thing is I have a weird sense of humor, and like the things that I think are funny, people don't think are funny. And it's just the whole the thing is trying to figure out how to make it funny. Right. Or relatable to people.
Well, so here's the thing. If you think something's actually funny, you're like, oh, this is funny, then tell me this joke like you would tell me as a friend, and I think that helps a lot, because I see a lot of comedians with a good enough premise, but no punchline, right? And they'll tell you this premise where I'm like, I can see where this could be funny, but you're not giving me the jokes. Or some comedians that do have a funny, you know, premise and a punchline, but they're so awkward with the delivery. Yeah. You know, you can have good writing, but if your delivery of it is bullshit, then you're not gonna, you know what I mean? So I think it's good to have obviously good writing, because that's number one, but you also gotta have a good delivery. To it, you know, and I think if you find a way to deliver it like you would to a friend, I think that's where the comedy comes in. Because I think I do have a couple of jokes that, you know, that work very well because of the way that I tell it. Even simple things, man. Like, one of my favorite things to do on stage right now is to be like, I work for Bubba Gum Chewing Company, and go for a high five to no one. And it's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's such a dumb joke.
But it makes it less funny.
But it always kills because you know that person that's like, fuck my life, am I right? You know, so it's like really finding really be able to find a way to write for you. A lot of people try to write for an audience. Don't write for an audience, man. Write for you. Even if it's like, I don't know if it's gonna work, then keep writing and working and working it and working it. If you believe in the bit, work it as much as you need to.
From what you're saying, like you're very structured when you're up on stage. Do you ever like improvise, like run out of, like, does it ever like?
Oh yeah, every show is different, you know. Like, I have my sets, man, but like in your show, for example, I have a bit. It's really funny. I had a bit about going to the gym, and somebody started laughing when I said that. And I have to be like, alright, that's not the joke, you know, and kind of go off a bit a little bit. I as far as crowd work, I don't do too much crowd work right now. You know,
that's a different beast.
You know, if the opportunity presents itself, I'll take it, but it's nothing that I'll look for. Like I don't go out there being like, oh, I'm gonna do 15 minutes of this, 2 minutes of crowd work, 3. No, I don't think about it that way.
Yeah. Now, when you say like the opportunity presents itself, you mean like a heckler or something?
That or somebody going laughing at me at the gym, being like, "I just love the joke." Like, come on, you know. And you can talk about it for a little bit if you need to.
Have you done it again?
Yeah, it happens all the time, man. You know, it depends on the reactions that I get from the crowd. Because some of the jokes that I have involves, like, I have a bit. So this actually, I was doing a show at the Comedy Store, and I had a bit where I go with the White Ladies bit, where they're trying to guess where I'm from, right? And you know, they're like, "Oh, are you Italian? Oh, are you Portuguese or Brazilian? Oh, are you Spanish?" And they're getting really excited. And at the end, I tell them, "Oh, actually, ladies, I'm from Mexico," and they look so disappointed, you know, and so I have this whole bit of like, oh, they look disappointed because I was Mexican, and at the end I go, they gave me a look that said, shouldn't you be in the kitchen?
Yeah.
And all the white people just went, ugh. Like they giggled, but they were like, oh, I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, you just point that out. You go like, oh, look at all the white people feeling guilty and shit,
yeah.
you know, and then that made them laugh.
Yeah.
And then you're able to be like, yeah, you know, have a little rant with them to be like, it's okay to laugh at this shit. It's okay. Come on, I'm there.
We're at a comedy show.
Yeah, and then that got them really laughing and going, and it was a great set because of it. So like little things like that. I don't go down to the audience and I'm like, oh, what do you do? You know, for me right now, that's not necessarily what I'm looking for at this particular moment.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on writing and creating a good.
I've tried to say I've stepped away from like doing any crowd work because whenever I do it, it comes out horrible. Like I'm like, it sounds mean. I'm like, nobody laughs. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta know what you mean. Like for example, if there's a guy in the front row that looks fucking crazy, you be like, dude, you look like you're about to eat me, you know? And then be like, oh, like, no, I mean you're probably really nice. You gotta be able to talk to people, you know, to kind of be like, ooh, because I was doing this show, man, and the host, man, poor guy, he was just not a good host. A young kid, you know, was trying to do this, and he did a bit that didn't work, and they looked at the crowd. There was a couple in the front. He's like, oh, so, how you doing? And they go, we're doing good. He's like, nice. I'm like, what?
What is he doing?
What are you doing? You know? So I think, like, you gotta have the confidence. Like, the second you say something, you gotta be able to be like, oh, this is something I can play with here.
Yeah.
You know, for me at least. Like I said, I'm just, you know. So I think that's it. I've been lucky enough to not see a lot of plagiarism. Which I'm happy. Yeah. This particular comic, this young comic, brought in his guitar and did a bunch of Dimitri Martin jokes and shit like that. I'm like, oh, buddy, come on.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the one art form you can't really like copy. You know, the stand up. I wonder how many people have thought about becoming like a cover band, you know, like a cover band, but like a cover comedian. You know, they do like all.
Oh, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't work. Yeah. I'm like, well, why am I paying you to watch it if I can just watch them on YouTube?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People want to go out to a comedy club to enjoy new things. You know, especially now, people are ADHD. People don't want to hear the same shit. You know. I remember when George Lopez came out with his special like back in like 2000, like in the early 2000s, and then he came up with another special, which basically the same thing as the first special that I watched. And I remember being like, people went to see him perform the same jokes. You know. And then I felt like, well, I already heard this joke. And then he came up with another album that was completely different, and that was great. So I think now, it's... Because I remember Jerry Seinfeld talking about this, where he would go up there and he would do the same jokes because people wanted to hear the same jokes. Where now it's not that anymore. If people are going to go see your new hour, they want to see completely new stuff, right? So... Yeah. Plagiarism, man. It's also 2019. Do you still worry about that?
No, not that much.
No, I'm not big enough to care.
Okay.
You know.
Have you come across anybody with a similar joke to yours? Because I've had that happen a couple times.
Well, a concept is different because you can have a similar concept. Like, you know, like people being broke. There's a lot of similar jokes or concepts that go to that, but I feel like it would have to be very similar.
Man, like this one time, like I had this joke, and a long time ago, I don't do it anymore, but it was this joke about how, I think it was Waze you know, the Waze, like, you know, like the app, Google Maps or whatever, Waze, right?
Yeah.
And like how like it's great or whatever, but it also tried to kill me once. And it was this joke. I don't even remember how I did it anymore. But this one time I had this show. There was this other comic, and she was like, "Hey, you look familiar. Have we met?" And I was like, "Well, no, I don't think we have." And then when she went up, she did the joke, but instead of Waze, it was Google Maps, and it was like it was almost like verbatim to like what she was saying. I was like, I wonder if like she subconsciously like, you know, grabbed her. Like,
which can happen. Which
Yeah.
funny enough, I was watching a YouTube video with Louis C.K. and Dane Cook, because there was this whole thing where Dane Cook, you know, whatever. And so in Louis, Dane Cook and Louis made a scene about it, and that's what Louis talks about. It's like, you know, you subconsciously
sometimes it just
took my
pick things
material.
up, yeah.
But the reason why it didn't help you prove people wrong is because you still did it, knowing that, yeah, it was very similar to my material. You basically stole a couple of my jokes. You know, it's whatever. You know, you have your, well, you know, you have your wild, whatever. So I think it's different, because like, I feel like there's different ways to deal with it. Because that was different. Because it was like 2 to 3 jokes about Louis, and that's it, you know, out of his whole hour. And, you know, and he's a really good performer, and he still wrote, you know, or like, for example, Mencia.
Yeah.
That was a whole... And it's funny, because I've been reading more about him, and he seems like a very nice guy. He genuinely seems like a
I met his wife, believe it or not.
Yeah, he's a great performer. He really is. You know, but comics, man, I'm telling you, we live in the age of YouTube.
Yeah.
Where now, if you try to steal material out of someone that's
Someone's gonna know.
somebody's gonna know, man.
Yeah, I think that's Andrew Schultz. Do you know who Andrew Schultz is?
No.
Great new comic. He's based in like in New York. Dude, he's like, I think he might be the next like funniest guy out there. Because it's like, well, at least for me, he's got the style of comedy that I really enjoy. It's like very raw, but he posts like almost every like set up on YouTube, and that's how he's gaining popularity. But it's kind of like by posting it out there and letting people know this stuff, it not only forces you to write new shit, it also kind of like you claim your space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm how long has he been doing comedy?
Oh man, I don't know, but a very long
See,
time.
I feel like it's different. I don't know, like, for example, like the shit that I've posted on YouTube, my set, you know, it's been like, all right, this is 10 minutes, whatever. Like, I won't post something until I know it's something that I'd be willing to share. But I also, it's different for me, man, because like what I'm probably gonna end up doing once I have an hour
is scrap it all anyways, right?
Like, I'll put it up together, and then, you know, I'll start, you know, try to do big things, like either America's Got Talent, I don't know what America's Got Talent, or like, you know, trying to get a network show like that, or, you know, or find my way to do either, you know, Conan. I'm talking about 2 to 3 years from now, right? And then, you know, and if I still feel like, you know, it's not happening, I wanna put an album together, right? Just for me. Just for me to have the album ready. And I feel like if I'm putting everything on YouTube, right, if I have all these YouTube clips of me doing stand-up, then the album's gonna be like, well, I've already seen it. Throughout the years. Don't get me wrong, you can write new shit or whatever. But I think that's really, like, for him to do that, that's really cool to be like, look at all these things that I have. What I am working on, and what I think is very important, is that you do have to have things to show. Right? If you're only doing it for like 2 to 3 years, then that's fine. But if you're doing it in like 5, 6, 7 years, you gotta have a way to. You have to have at least in YouTube, at least 3 to 4 YouTube, you know, videos of you doing stand up. You know, if you can do a web series or whatever, then do it and put it up there. If you have a website, if you're doing it for a while, and you have a website, because at the end of the day, man, that's what really, I think, books you shit. You know, like somebody hears about you, oh, cool, I heard, you know, let's say you do Kill Tony, right? And you do really good at Kill Tony. Now people are like, oh, well, what else has he got? And then they look you up on YouTube and they can't find you. Then
you're done.
Then that's it. You know, you don't have nothing else to show for it. You know, so they're like, oh, he has this thing on, you know, and then now people can see who you are, and they're like, oh, when is he performing next? Well, he has a website. Oh, cool. He has an Instagram. You know, let's see his Instagram, what his shows are at and everything. I honestly will talk to people, you know, at the restaurant that I work at, and then I'll be like, hey, you know, they'll get to know me and be like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a comedian, I do this and that, and then they'll ask me for my Instagram.
Oh, nice.
You know, so it sounds stupid and dumb, But you never know when somebody's gonna go to your show because So now, like, it's always be able to. I think comedians need to learn how to sell themselves.
Yeah, that's the.
It's annoying. I'm not a huge technology person or social media person, but I gotta learn how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that simple. You gotta learn how to sell yourself. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of putting stuff on Instagram, I've started really like going after like getting my show out there and getting more publicity. I used one of your clips, and I wanted to know what your opinion on that was. You saw it, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Were you okay with that? Would you rather I take it down? Were you like, oh no?
It was fine. I mean, what was it for? What did you use it for?
It's I'm trying to like create like a commercial, like to really get some other comics to be like, oh, I think I'm funnier than that guy, and so that they can come in. I really want to push this whole like competition aspect of comedy.
Yeah. No, I don't care.
You don't care? Okay, cool.
No, it didn't bother me. I think.
Should have asked permission first. It would have been nice.
I would.
Uh-huh.
I don't care.
Uh-huh.
But there's gonna be other comedians that are gonna go, hey man, like I did your competition and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
But I don't want my shit out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't care. I was like, sure, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of comedians are, because the truth of the matter, your show is not very big right now.
No.
It's a competition where they're like, yeah, I'll go do this show. It'll be fun. It'll be a little competition thing, whatever. I think the comedians bringing $20 definitely raises the stakes.
Yeah.
And I have to be like, fuck, I don't want to lose $20.
Yeah. You made your 20 back, didn't you?
It was interesting, leaving being like, well, at least I didn't lose money. That's so that's an interesting concept. But I would ask permission for people. I did an open mic where they paid me $20 to do it. They were gonna film me and they were gonna enter a competition, but they had me sign a bunch of shit. Okay. So I think that if you're gonna be using, I think it's okay for you to record comics and to give them their stuff and whatever. That's perfectly fine, and that's awesome that you do that. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna like commercialize it, I would get some signatures before you do it. Yeah. Just because
I've been trying to, but like I don't know if you've been on to the website, the official rules or whatever. There's like a link to click on to so that people know that not only is it like what we're doing is legal, but also that
well, you just get permission.
Yeah.
You get like, hey, can you sign here, which lets me know that I'm able to use this, whatever. I think that'd be important. That way, nobody can get in trouble. Because, what I mean, to me, I didn't care.
Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna change my I'm gonna ask for permission first. I'm just like, hey, is it okay before I post anything up?
I would still
I almost got somebody in trouble. That's why.
Oh really?
Yeah.
With who?
With Ben Thompson, he was applying for a job, and he said like, "Oh, could you just remove the tag?" I was like, "I don't care that my stuff's out there. Just like remove the tag because it was like a bad joke, like a rape joke." And he was like, like I'm gonna apply to this job, and they do like a social media search or whatever. I took it down in time, and he got the job. So I'm like, all right, cool. But that kind of changed my perspective. I was like, because on the rules it says like, hey, I'm gonna use this, but feel free to tell me not to. You don't want me to record it. But yeah. Awesome, man. Wow, we're almost done, too. We're
almost there, baby.
Yeah, we got 7 more minutes. Do you want to tell the audience anything else about any shows that you're upcoming?
I'm doing, I don't know when you're going to have this out or how soon. I'm doing Flatbrick on the 23rd, your competition on the 26th. I do have a couple of shows in August. I don't know the dates right now. I think on the 14th I'm doing my show. I know I'm going to be at the Ice House on September 8th, and then all the other shows that I'm doing, I don't have a date yet.
Okay, cool.
You can find me, like I said, on Santos on Instagram. You can watch a couple episodes of my web series. I'm working right now on another web show called Boys in the Woods with a really good friend of mine who's in a Netflix show, and really funny guy. So he's great. I'll plug a thing for him. Sorry, I'm just gonna do it real quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Named Alex Pontio. You can see him in No Good Nick, especially in the second season that's coming out. There's a lot more in there. You can see him in Grown Ups too. So he's really funny. So we work together a lot.
Nice. Good shout out.
It's great. That's about it for right now.
Is he the guy that's like on your little hashtag Fat Bitch Day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I
Yeah.
love those videos.
Yeah, Fat Bitch Day video.
Yeah, you should hashtag it, dude. Like every time, I was like, I look forward to them.
Yeah, I have him. I have him on my story all the time. We're actually, when he comes back, we're actually creating a YouTube thing with it.
Oh, yeah.
Every Fat Bitch Day, like, but we're gonna make it a big deal. Like when he comes back, I think we're going to the Queen Mary in Long Beach, and we're gonna do like scary Fat Bitch Day.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You know, and then so we're gonna start doing that.
Have you completed the song, or is it always just like the first two phrases?
Oh, that's it. I think that's what's fun about it. You know,
Okay,
not a very long thing. It's just
Real
it
quick.
started as a thing that we used to do that we thought it was funny. One day, because he's lost like 120 pounds.
Whoa.
No, he's lost way more. He's lost like 230 pounds over the years.
Damn.
You know, and so he does that. He eats really clean throughout the week, and then once a week.
You have your Fat Bitch.
Yeah, we used to be like, oh man. One time we were really high and we were really full, and we're like, man, Fat Bitch Day or what? And then we started laughing at it. And so I decided, and then the song from Annie came, like it's a Fat Bitch Day for us, and then I just decided to put it on Instagram, and I thought it was funny, and then I wanted to take off, man.
Yeah.
I think it'll be funny. It's a funny thing that we really enjoy doing. But then again, who doesn't fucking love stuff in their face?
Yeah. Has anybody else said anything about it?
Yeah, I have a lot of people from Oregon, like a bunch of my friends. I really like get it. My cousin loves Fat Bitch Day.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people that have
I want to see the
Instagram.
food. That's the one thing that's missing. I was like,
I showed food.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I like it a couple times.
On the story? Did you check the story? Yeah, when we went to the one in when we went to Grand Casino. Shout out to Grand Casino in Culver City, great restaurant. We showed the ribs that he had with the French fries, and then I showed the sandwich that I had for that. So I'll have it more next time, but I did show the food for that one. So we'll see where.
And also the empty plate afterwards. I want to see Conquered, fucking Fat Bitch Day.
Oh,
Yeah, have you ever heard of what Bang Bang is?
Oh, the Louis thing?
Yeah,
man. I don't know what to do with Bang Man. That's too much of a Fat Bitch Day. I don't know if I can really do that. But definitely, man. I think it's such a fun day for us. And the last one that we did was a lot of fun. He's in San Antonio right now. He comes back next Friday. He actually comes back on the 23rd.
Okay.
So he's literally going from the airport to come to see the show, I think.
Oh.
Why not? But I think that's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But Fat Bitch Day or what?
Yeah, man.
It's great.
Well, thanks for being on my podcast.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, this was really entertaining. I'm really enjoying talking to different comics and having this show is a great excuse to get more insight on people.
Right.
Yeah. Well, everybody, make sure to follow Salvador de Santos, and you can see him at my show. And hopefully, if he gives me permission, I'll upload his winning video.
Yeah, follow me at Sal de Santos on Instagram, all together.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. That
What
was
time
fun.
is it? Oh, 8:48? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. You gonna go do an open mic?
Yeah, 10:30.
Nice. Where at?
Flappers.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. I'm gonna go home and probably watch some Stranger Things, and I'm gonna.
Oh, you haven't finished it yet?
No, I haven't. I watched it with my girl, and she was away for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good, bro. So good.
It's a good
So
show.
good.
What other shows do you watch?
I'm waiting for Mastermind. No, Mastermind. The one with the serial killer as well. I think it is No, it's not Mastermind. I watched.
Thank you.
No problem, brother. Which one did I just finish watching? Stranger Things. The OA. Finished. Breaking Bad. It's amazing.
Did you finish it?
Oh,
Yeah. Great show.
I'm trying to remember the shows that I did. I'm trying to remember. Man, I really don't remember. Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty, great.
I didn't know you smoke.
Oh yeah, dude.
We could have done this high, dude. That's why one of the other questions I usually tend to ask is if you do any of your writing under the influence of something.
Yeah.